In what can only be described as news that sent shockwaves across the National Hockey League on Thursday, Ilya Kovalchuk announced his retirement from the NHL, from the New Jersey Devils, with 12 years and $77 million still left on his contract. A contract that is now void because Kovalchuk has signed his voluntary retirement paperwork. He said he's going to move his family back to Russia, his home country, but now the Devils have to move on without Kovalchuk. And for next season at least, that's going to be quite difficult to do, if not downright impossible. The Devils did sign Ryan Clough and Michael Ryder on July 5th, but they lost David Clarkson to the Toronto Maple Leafs, and what they lose in Kovalchuk is, on the short term, irreplaceable. He was a guy that scored 201 points in 222 career games as a Devil. He had over 400 goals in his NHL career. He played in all situations for New Jersey, and he was essentially the face of the franchise when Zach Parise left to go to the Minnesota Wild. So even if Lou Lamoriello tries to get creative in the trade market, or the Devils go out and they sign a Mikhail Grabovski or a Jaromir Jagr, two free agents that come to mind, they will not be able to replace Kovalchuk brought to New Jersey. Not next season. Over the long term, though, it can be argued that the Devils are in a better spot without having Kovalchuk's contract on their books. He carried a $6.6 million cap hit, so that's freed up right now, and the Devils have roughly $11 million under the cap now for next season. Lamoriello will try to get creative, and he may sign a free agent or two. For next season, it doesn't look very good for New Jersey. Maybe over the long term, it is better now that they don't have Kovalchuk's contract, but that still remains to be seen.
Yo, what is going on, guys? Episode number 1 of my brand new GM series. I really want to keep this one active, but anyway, let's get into it. The team that I decided to choose on popular demand, in any way I wanted to pick this team, is the New Jersey Devils. Many of you might be like, whoa, you're a Devils fan, that's why you're beating them. But if you look at the comments, there are many people who wanted me to be the Devils, and on top of that, the Devils are in a bit of a rebuilding stage, not really, but they are a pretty old team that with some upcoming rookies on the way, and they're a team that many people think has some moves to go on and anything like that because Brodeur is getting older, Elias is getting older, Jagr is obviously not getting any younger, but anyway, I think this would be a great team to choose, and I think it could be very interesting on to what I do with some of the players and to see if I can get them in a playoff spot like they have been for many years in a row. But anyway, as you guys noticed in the first little clip I have, Kovalchuk retired. If some of you aren't from this planet and don't remember that he retired, on top of that, Parise left us and Clarkson left us. So our team has definitely went down a bit, and we did sign Jagr. Most of you guys should know that. But anyway, here's a little look at our lines. Obviously, I'm not going to keep them like this. Elias is not going to be playing there. He would be playing probably on the first line. But before I go on, I want to say I moved 2 players. I moved Zajac from an 87 overall to an 85 overall. I put his shot down a bit and his physical category a bit. I think I just moved his body checking down a bit in his shot. And I moved him down 2, and I decided to move Schneider up 1 because Schneider's been so good for us this year. He's won us single-handedly, won us many games, so hopefully you guys don't really mind that and just move 2 players. I was going to go through the whole team and edit most of these players up. I mean, if I did that, I could move Jagr to like an 86, I could move Green to an 85, I could move Salvador to like a 12, but I decided just to move the 2 players to not change too much up because I don't want to make this team a stacked or anything like that. Obviously, they are not stacked in real life. I think they're a lot better than what most people who aren't Devils fans think, because they'll look at them and be like, oh, your team's terrible. All you have is Jagr and Schneider. No, we have some pretty good players. Just some of them aren't producing as good enough. I mean, Ryder went off for a bit. Elias is coming on now. Clough's coming on now. Lokhtianov still needs to come on. That's disgusting. But anyway, this is the team we have right now. Let's take a look at some of the roster moves going on here. So in our minors, we have Larson, who definitely needs to come up, Jelinas, who definitely needs to come up, Urbom can come up in the future, and Tenby's pretty much done. I mean, he's got some value. Larson's 4.5 stars, Sevenson is 4 stars, Green stars as well, so that's very good for him. Jelinas is 4, Boucher is 4, he's a very good player. I don't know how good he gets in GM. I tried him early on in the year, and he didn't really get much better, but he's a very good player. His speed's not really there, but he has a good shot, so I'm not really sure how good he's going to become in the GM. Tenby's only 3.5, but he is green. Mateau's 3.5 yellow, so I don't know how good he'll get. Berlin, I don't really expect much from him. Urbom dropped from 4 yellow stars early on to 3 green stars. Scarlet, I'm pretty sure he used to be 4 as well. And then the rest is kind of not really going to get better. Yep, definitely not going to... Oh, Jansen, he's pretty good. I should definitely put him up there. I'm pretty sure he could probably get us 40-goal season playing with Yager anyway. But let's take a look at our goalies. And I don't really think, yeah... Sadly, Kincaid's only 2.5 red stars, so he will not be getting better. Wedgwood can get better, but I mean, he is a 60 overall. And I believe he's like 22, 21, so anything going for goalies. I mean, Kincaid is one of the best in the AHL right now, but the game doesn't have that. I mean, in my opinion, he should be 4 yellow stars, but he's not, so our goalies are not really going to get better. But we do have Brodeur, who is an 85, which probably should have dropped into like an 82, 83, but he'll definitely be a pretty good backup. And maybe we trade him, maybe we don't. I don't think I'm going to trade him. I want to, first off, by saying I want to make this a very realistic trade, a very realistic GM mode. I want to do stuff that the Devils and GMs would actually do. I do not want to trade half our team for first-round picks, tank it in the first year, and then get like 3 first-round picks. I want to make this a very realistic, a very, very realistic GM. Most people are like, oh yeah, let's make it realistic, and then by year 2, I mean, they're just picking up all these players, especially his beard, but I don't want to do that. I think that takes away from it a bit, and you'll get too good too fast, and it's just not realistic. Since I am not doing really anything special for this GM, I want to keep it realistic and keep going with it. But he wants 38 wins from me, and I'm hoping we can be a playoff team this first year. I mean, we've got old guys on our team, so it's not like we're rebuilding year 1, but maybe we will eventually. But we're going to go to the scout assignment, and we're going to do what DeBoer would do if... No, I'm just kidding. We are going to look forwards, obviously. If we were to look defense, there may be something wrong with us, because obviously the Devils need more forwards, and there's some good people right here, obviously, in the WHL. The OHL, there is Hosang, who's good, and a few other people in here. Richie's pretty good, but that's second round. And the QMJHL has some pretty good players as well, but we're going to stick in the WHL. Probably going to go for Dress. I can't even pronounce his name. There's definitely the top 3, in my opinion, would be great players to get. Even Vert, I can't even say his name either. These players are too hard to say their names, so there you go. Point, that's a pretty good name, but we're not picking him up. But we're going to try to go for one of these players. But like I said, if we want to be a playoff team, I don't know if we will have like a top 5 pick unless we trade someone, but I don't really know if we'll be trading anyone because not many people on the Devils have very high trade values. But before we get into it, I just want to turn off injuries to make sure everything goes good, because I do not like injuries. I wish they had a slider for injuries, because I really do. I mean, no one plays with injuries on. I would love to, but it's just too annoying where every game you have to swap someone out, and then someone gets injured for 6 weeks because they get their foot stuck in their skate, and then they need to like surgically remove it or something like that. But just very annoying. But this is preseason. I do not care about this. Usually we'd be playing teams like 60 overall, 70 overall players while we're playing our full team, so I don't think this would go into our season. I mean, we are 4-0-1, and we beat the Rangers, so 5-0-1. So looking at this, like, oh wow, our team's gonna dominate. But like I said again, we're playing teams secondary and third end players that are not probably gonna be on the team, and if they are, they'd be on their 3rd or 4th line. But 5-0-2 would be a great preseason if it matters, but like I said, I don't think it will. So we're going to send to the Penguins, and before we play our first game, we're going to adjust our lines really quick and hopefully get something pretty good going. So, I mean, we played good in the preseason, so maybe not change anything, but there are a few things I want to change anyway. So Elias Zajac Yager, I like that. Klo Henrik Ryder, I like that. Brunner Laktianov Zubris, I like that sort of. I don't really know if I like Zubris there, playing with them too, but he'd probably go good with them. But in real life, I probably wouldn't really like that combination. Oh, you know, you never know. I might like the combination, but... And then the 4th line, we've got the some of the best players in the league. Gianta, this guy, he's a man of all situations. He might even play goalie for us if he wants to. But looking at our defense, we have Green Fane, so I like that. Sorry about that. Salvador and Zidlicki. Zidlicki could be a bit better in my opinion. We got Merrill up here, and then, yeah, I think I'm gonna quit. Yeah. So we have Volchenkov, who's an 83 scratch, but we have Harold playing. Makes sense to me. I don't know why he's in here. But anyway, we are going to go to our roster. Oh, gosh, there you go. That's good English going on there. We're going to bring up, instead of bringing up Larson, we are going to bring up Jelinas. You know, this is a hard decision because Larson is 20 years old, and he's in the AHL, I believe, at the moment. Yeah, he's in the AHL. And then Jelinas is 22, so he's a bit older, and he's got 4 stars. So if he comes up and plays good here, he'd get better. So we're going to bring up Jelinas, and we're going to leave Larson there for right now anyway. Larson will probably be up very soon, but for right now, we are going to bring him up, and we're going to leave Larson down. So Larson, I'm sorry, you definitely deserve to be up here, but for the time being, Carter, are you serious? Are you serious, Carter? You think you could just walk in and be on the Devils' defense? Our defense isn't that bad. But anyway, Jelinas and Merrill will be on our 3rd line. Green and Fane will be on our 1st line. Salvador and Zelicki on our 2nd. And we have Volchenkov scratched, who is an 83, who could be a trade asset in the future and hopefully really soon. And also, we are going to make a pretty big move right here. And we are going... Oh, that's great. Oh, my God. I'm probably going to have to edit all this up again. Let's hope not. Yeah, wow. So, guys, I have to edit all this up, which is just great. So we're going to scratch Merrill. And no, not Merrill. We are going to bring Merrill in here. And we're going to scratch Harold, which is already scratched. So Merrill. And then Salvador is going to be switched. You know what? Here's our first big trade. Hope you guys enjoy this. We're going to... Where is it? We're going to leave Volchenkov up here. And we're going to bring Jelinas. And Jelinas and Merrill will be there. And we're going to bring Fane on the 1st line. With Zelicki and Volchenkov on the 2nd line. And then we are going to... On the power play, we are going to bring... Where is this sucker? Jelinas. And he's going to be switched with Green. And our power play is looking pretty good. And then this we're going to bring also Jelinas up here because his shot is pretty unreal in my opinion. Bring Green back down there. Penalty kill, Green and Volchenkov. Pretty good. Good. Okay, there you go. We don't even need defensemen on our 4-on-4 lines. That's how good we are. Just put Yager out there and we'll be fine. But realistically, we're going to put Green definitely on our 4-on-4 and as well as Merrill. Play good on both sides at the end for us. Jelinas, he's great offensively, but he's got to work on his defense a bit. But as you guys will notice, Salvador and Harold are not on the team. They're not on our lineups. And as you guys know, Salvador being the best captain in the league, well, Salvador, you've been one of the best players on this team for many years. I'm just kidding. But you will be our first player traded. And as much as I hate to let you go, I'm just kidding. You will be getting traded, and many of you might be like, oh, the Devils would never trade their captain. Yeah, I mean, they might not, but if this team wants to win and I want to win, this is not that unrealistic. I'm not trading him for Crosby, which, I mean, he's probably worth Crosby, honestly, but he's not being traded for Crosby. If we can get a 3rd for him, I'd be happy, but, yep, they can't accept it. We're just going to go through all these teams and see who can accept Salvador for a pick, and probably no one because, I mean, this guy, oh, Capitals, but so if we can get a 3rd for him, you know what? If we can get a 2nd for Salvador, no, 2nd for Salvador, and if we added our 3rd, so Salvador and a 3rd for a 2nd, I'd be very happy. But I do not think this will go in. But let's see, it does not. So we're just going to try to get a 3rd for Salvador, and that does not work as well. So let's try a 4th, and that works. So we save some salary, and we get a 4th round pick. So that's probably not going to be anything special, but there goes our captain, and now we have to make a pretty big move on who is going to be our new captain. So right now our new captain is Bernie. Okay, yeah, something's going on here. But anyway, our new captain will be Andy Green, and Elias and Zajac will be the alternate captains for now. So Green, you are our new captain, and hopefully you play good for us because I think you're definitely one of the Devils' best defensemen and a great leader. So that's why I chose you as the captain. But we will simulate the first 10 games, and we will adjust our team and see how we're doing. So that's 5, 8, and our last game against the Canucks. So our GM dropped because we traded our best player, Salvador, which is understandable. But we win the first game 6-2 with Fane scoring. We win our next game 4-2, Elias scoring. Elias and Henrique in real life have been a pretty dynamic duo. And we move on 3-1 in the series to start off, and then 4-0. That's pretty unreal. We were playing on Superstar or whatever the hard difficulty is, and everything's on the highest, whatever it's called. So I'm not cheating here. I mean, the Devils are a pretty powerhouse of a team. I mean, I would say they're just as good as Chicago with their offense. But we are winning all these games, which is very surprising to me. I did not think we would go 6-0. I was expecting us to probably tank most of the year. I was expecting us to try and contend early on, and that would slip away, and eventually we'd end up trading some stuff for a first-round picker or some rookies. But it looks like going 6-0 to start. I mean, 7-0. I mean, okay, guys, I'll admit I'm cheating. I'm just kidding. No, but honestly, I don't understand how we're doing so good. I've tried a few times this year already picking the Devils, and that did not work out. I would always have to tank, or I'd have to trade a first-round pick early on to get something good. But 9-0, like, what is this? 9 in a row. Okay, well, we are going to simulate this game and the slow way, and then we will see how we're doing. We're going to see if Schneider could beat his old team at home. So the first period, we would be down 1-0 from Sedin on his old teammate Schneider. Second period, Burroughs on his old teammate, and it looks like we are going to give us bad luck because we simulated this way and we were going to get our first loss. So 30-second intervals, and it doesn't look like we're getting many shots. So unless we score on the power play, Jelinos, maybe, nope. We got some shots on that, and Yager scores on Luongo, so pretty big from Yager to get us back on the board, but Sedin would score, so that is 3-1, and I would say this game is pretty much over unless we score now on the power play, but nope, and they have a power play to finish it off. No, they do not, but they would still win this game 3-1, and Yager with the only goal from us, and we kind of leave Schneider in the dust, but Zajac and Merrill pick up assists on Yager's third of the year, so in 10 games, Yager's only got 3 goals, so that's a bit sad, but like I said, he's only an 82. I should have bumped him up to like an 85, 86. He's definitely been he's been the best Devils player, but he's been one of the best players in the league. He's in like, I think, 16th in points in the whole league, and this guy is 79 years old. I'm just kidding. But anyway, 9-1. Let's just simulate this next game, and let's look at some of the stats and see how we are doing. We are gonna say first in the league. We are 5th with Schneider in goals against, and he's not in save percentage, surprisingly, but there are a lot of really good goalies up there. Wins, we are in 2nd for Schneider. Points, not expecting anyone up there for really any of this stuff. Assists, Henrique would be up there. Goals, nope. We are in 1st in the Metropolitan Division, and besides Capitals, everyone else is doing pretty bad in my opinion. Atlantic Division, we would be in 2nd, and we're in 2nd in the whole entire league. But before I end this episode, I want to look at the coaching, not the coaching staff. I don't want to look at the board, no thank you. I want to look at the player stats real quick, and then I want to look at the team standings, and then I will end this episode off. But let's see, let's go to centers. So Adam Henrique may be taking over first line center role. He's got 12 points, 8 assists. Laktianov has 6, so very good for Laktianov, almost a point per game. Zajac on that first line is not doing much, only 5. And he's a -5 as well, so that's even worse. And Josephson, the guy who is, yeah, I'm not a big fan of him either, but he's got 4 points, so he's almost got more than Zajac, so that's when you know something's got to get changed. But Henrique maybe going up to the first line. I mean, he's got more than a point per game. He's a plus player, 2 power play goals, but he's only shooting 11%, but he is shooting a lot, and he is almost 50%. So Zajac, you may be doing pretty bad and everything else, but you are almost 60% on the draw, so that's very good. But you are -5 with only 5 points on the first line. Left wing wise, Eliash has almost a point per game, so that's pretty good for Eliash, but he is -5 as well. So our first line is not playing good at all, it seems. Klo has 5 points, but he is +3, and Carter, he has 4 points, but he's +9. I don't think you'll ever see that again. But moving into the right wing, we have Brunner with 9, Yager with 7, Bernier with 5, Zubris with 5, and Ryder with only 4. So definitely have to change some things up. Brunner, Henrique, and Eliash maybe on a first line. I mean, I could definitely see that. That's their lineup in real life, and Yager is not getting it done, it seems. But moving into the defense, Fane is in first, Green, Zidlicki, Merrill, Volchenkov, and Jelena. So Seeing Jelinas behind Volchenkov is a bit sad, but Jelinas is +6. No power play goals. He doesn't even have any goals on the year. But I'm hoping he kind of comes up sooner or later. And for goalies, Brodeur is 2-0, but he allowed probably 6 goals. Yeah, 6 goals, almost 92 save percentage. And Schneider is very, very good. 7-1 with under 2 goals against average. And just to finish this episode off, let's quickly look at team standings. And we are in second in the whole NHL. We have the most goals per game. Something's going on here. I don't know what DeBoer put in their drinks, but whatever he did, I don't know how they're scoring 3.50 goals a game. We're lucky if we get half that. Goals against 6. That's reasonable. That's pretty much how they are in real life. We don't give up many goals. Goals against per game, 4th, pretty good. Detroit 1.36 is amazing and unheard of. Power play goals, we are in 8th, so that's pretty good. Penalty kill in, wow, Detroit's 97%, but 91% is pretty good. We are 2-1 at home and 7-0 on the road, so only played 3 home games. So a very, very good start of the season for the Devils. In our first 10 games, we picked up 18 points, but definitely have to do some line changes. And I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. If you did, please leave a like. And any feedback on the lines, trades, or anything like that, please leave it in the comment section below. And I will see you guys later.
I need your love, I need your time. When everything's wrong, you make it right. I feel so high, I come alive. I need to be free with you tonight. I need your